No time to die, Al. It's around the corner.
Yeah, man, we're kind of pushing the Fright Cap back 1 week to do a prerequisite viewing of Spectre for the upcoming triple, quadruple delayed No Time to Die.
Yeah, right. Over a year delayed. Everyone's looking forward to it. So we thought we'd backtrack a little bit and see where the story left off. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody?
Welcome back, guys. Like I said, we're pushing the Fright Cap back 1 week. So just to zero in on James Bond right now.
Yep. We're going to take a look at James Bond's 2015 Spectre right now and get into that. But it's been a second since we did a review. If this is your first time watching the show, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Do us a favor on that and leave us a comment below as well. That really helps us out with the algorithm. I'll also go ahead and put up our Instagram handle right now as well. If you want to catch us on there and follow along with us on there and see our posts, that'd be cool as well. But man, yeah, James Bond, Spectre. This was kind of like there's a lot of hype surrounding this movie, especially coming off of Skyfall, which was pretty critically acclaimed, excellent movie. That's one of our lost episodes? I think it is, right?
That was actually our very first episode, a very rough one. That's why we put it as a lost episode. So you cannot see it right now, guys.
It's pretty rough. I'm not going to lie. Maybe one of these days we talked about, maybe we might put it out.
Like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, and the quality was not the best. But yeah, we wanted to take a look at this James Bond movie and going back and rewatching it. It's been a while since I've seen it. And, I know I had mixed feelings. I know it was kind of mixed reviews on it. What's your biggest takeaway, or what do you remember most from watching it the first time?
Oh, I just remember it was a big disappointment for me just because of the hype surrounding it, the people, the actors that are in it, the plot that it was about. I'm like, let's go. So maybe it was me. Maybe I set myself up too high. But after the first initial showing, when I went to watch in the theater, I came out with disappointment, guys.
Yeah, and that was kind of rare in this whole series here. These installments with Daniel Craig is like James Bond. He really rejuvenated the franchise.
Absolutely.
Total fan favorite. He just brought an extra juice, an extra I don't know what you want to call it. Can't say charisma because James Bond already has charisma, but he kind of brought brutality to the James Bond.
Yes.
Kind of brought
some gritty.
Yeah, some grit to it. And pretty much most of the franchise I like. I will say Quantum of Solace, not my favorite one too. That one was a little bit of a miss for me. But Casino Royale is excellent.
Casino Royale,
right?
Top.
Skyfall, that was a pretty good one too. And also same director here. We got Sam Mendes again doing Spectre. And we got all the names, we got the whole cast and everything. But let's just hop into the plot. I don't know, man. It was how can I say it? It just felt really formulaic. Going back and rewatching.
Really. Interesting. Because I gave the plot actually a pretty damn high score. I gave it an 8 just because to me, it was very intriguing. He was out on a mission for M's last death request. Like, hey, you gotta kill. Was it Sakara? And in doing so, he stumbled into Spectre. And then that was intriguing because it was just all of his villains, all the people that he faced again, was just one organization. So that's intriguing. And then the head of the Spectre is his foster brother. So I'm like, hey, let's go. Let's go.
Kind of going back to the whole Skyfall thing where they keep trying to really bring in his background, right? And trying to tie it in there. I guess for me, literally just in the way the story is formatted, it felt very formulaic in the sense that all the Bond movies, they start off in the middle of a chase scene, right? In the middle of an action scene, right? As soon as the movie kicks off. Then we kind of figure out the actual, you move into the second act, you find out the real villain, and we're trying to do the detective work and find it. Somewhere along the way, he meets the love interest, right? Who's inevitably going to fall in love, which of course they do. Then he gets the bad guy, so to speak, or it seems like he's got him. And then there's always one last push from the bad guy. And then he has to subdue it. And so that's what I meant about feeling formulaic for me. At least to the other movies, you could definitely feel the formula was being played out and everything kind of was just dominoes playing out. Also too, and we're going to get to that probably more in directing, but the movie overall, it's got a lot of action, but for me, there wasn't a lot of tension. You kind of felt if everything felt safe. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. I was going to get to that later and I still will get to that later. But yeah, but the whole gang's here, right? Like great locales, great stunts, great action, like you were talking about, great action sequences, you know. But so the gang's all here. So the production, 17 out of 20, you know, with the great opening sequence in Mexico, which it's funny, every Mexico movie, it's always in sepia. Like I get it, everything's brown down there, you know. But yeah, but like you said, it was a James Bond movie. The formula was there, especially in production wise. But hey, but it works. I still gave it a 17 for production.
Yeah, I forget. What did you give it in terms of plot?
A plot, I gave it an 8. So that was
an 8. Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I only gave it a 5. Yeah, for me, I only gave it a 5. I thought. I mean, I know they try to make up for it for a lot of like the, I don't know, twists and turns, if you will. But to me, it felt fairly basic, like I said, in terms of like the overall like formula that the movies have been following. So to me, I wasn't as excited. But getting into the production like you did, I gave it a 17 as well. The James Bond movies always look great. The cinematography is great. That opening scene, that tracking scene, awesome. Yes. I will say when the guy he gets into the crowd, he starts using like that shaky like handheld cam thing. Got a little heavy on that. It was a little like kind of jarring a little bit. Luckily, he didn't do it too much and got away from that. But the rest of the movie looks great. Like you said, always exotic locations. Right. James always looks great in a suit. He always has time to have a perfectly tailored suit no matter what situation he's in. I appreciate that. You know, tip my hat to Mr. Bond there. But what'd you think about Sam Smith's opening track there in the intro?
It's definitely, I didn't mind it. Like, I think the best, like, out of all the Bond songs for Daniel Craig was the one with Adele. Yeah, well, I think that was for Skyfall, but this one's fun too. I did not mind it at all.
Yeah, see, I disagree. I thought it was kind of hard. Like he does so much falsetto. Like it gets a little shrill at the end there. Like it was just like, no,
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little rough. I mean, they got the iconic theme music, so that part is great. I mean, whenever that kicks in, it just kind of gets you going. But the opening little montage there, I don't know, didn't really connect for me. I agree. I think the Skyfall one with Adele was a better,
that was the best
track.
And I heard No Time to Die was Drake CLB for
is that correct?
That's the rumor.
And the cover is all of Bond's girls, just like different emojis of all of them.
Yeah. Wait, I'm too sexy, for Bond.
Well, maybe retired Bond, right? It'll be on the beach. No, too sexy. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, the acting here. I mean, I think we can both agree Daniel Craig is, he kills it as Bond. Yes. Especially in this modern era here. What'd you think about the other performances, though? What'd you think about, I don't want to butcher her name, but what is it, Leia Seydoux, and Christoph Waltz?
First of all, 21 out of 30. I had to give it a low score for this one because one, yes, Daniel Craig, my favorite Bond. I'll mention that right now. But this is his 4th film. He's a decade in, and you could tell that he wasn't really as into this one as he was in the past Bond movies, just because technically he wanted this one to be his last one. He didn't even want to do No Time to Die. They had to bring in the Brinks truck for him to come back to do No Time to Die until he gets replaced. But yeah, he seems not tired, but he maybe going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah. I sense the same thing.
Yeah, a little bit. But I gave it such a low score because Christoph Waltz, and you know me, I'm a big fan, criminally underutilized in this movie. He almost was utilized totally wrong in this movie. You got this monster talent who was coming in like a steamroller with his success in Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained, and then you're thinking this guy's just gonna eat it up. And they pretty much kneecapped him. They didn't really give him any lines, no character development, and he was a throwaway almost.
What do you think it is? Do you think it was the actors, or do you think it was the script? Do you think they were just kind of limited?
It was the script.
I think it was the script too, because I think even though, like you said, Craig looks a little kind of going through the motions a little bit, I think it was just it wasn't there, and there were some lines too in the script too, but were kind of corny,
Yeah,
like when that scene with Money Penny, he's like, "Well, what do you think?" He's like, "I think you're just getting started." I was just like, "Oh, brother, here we go."
Yeah, And
And
then
then the cuckoo, right? When they're in the meeting and the mobsters, oh, cuckoo, James, cuckoo.
yeah, I
Like,
get the whole background of that because he was the cuckoo and he was pushing him
yeah.
out of the nest. I get that. And then at the very end, when he's just kind of like feeble, like in the bridge, finish it. I'm like, yeah, let's finish this movie, guys.
Yeah,
Let's,
right.
let's end it.
Let's wrap it up. Well, speaking of which, on the acting too, we also got to get into the love interest in here. Dr. Swan, played by, like I said, I think her name is Leah Seydoux. I think I'm pronouncing it
Seydoux,
right.
yeah.
The French actress, beautiful actress. But I didn't get a ton of chemistry between these two. I don't know if it was just me.
Yeah, no, this wasn't like his chemistry with his true love interest of the whole franchise, which was Vesper Lind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get it either. But like I said, maybe it's the script too. Maybe,
I
maybe
think a part of it to me, like I put in my notes when I was watching, it was like, again, kind of like it just felt formulaic. Like he got the girl because he had to get the girl. I remember like they had that fight scene, and then she's like, "But what next?"
What do we?
And then and all of a sudden, yeah, they're just making out, just going crazy, ripping the clothes off, and I'm like, yeah, because it's we're an hour 15 in. This is what happens right now. You know what I mean? And it was just like it just kind of felt, I don't know, felt forced. I almost felt like with the whole idea with Spectre and that it's been him all along and this and that. If they almost should have just played it off more and brought up kind of the vibe of or show flashbacks of Vesper and her character, it kind of like bring up that heartache, you know what I mean? That was the one and she got taken from him. I thought that maybe would have hit more emotionally, kind of being like, see, James, I've been the one the whole time. You know, I'm the one who took her from you versus, giving you, the new love interest, which, hey, I get it. It's a Bond movie. You got to, you know what I mean? Same thing with like Monica Bellucci, right? She's like mourning her husband and then she's like hooking up with James. Like
shout out to Monica Bellucci, aging like a fine wine.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, so in terms of the acting, let me check my score. I ended up giving it a 22, so I'm right there close next to you.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just had all the names, had all the ingredients, but they just couldn't make it work. And I guess that's kind of a good segue into the directing. What'd you think about Mendes' performance here?
It's all on him. There, I said it.
We don't want to point fingers, but if I had one of those big foam fingers, I pointed right at him. All right. This guy did it.
And it's crazy because I really love Skyfall.
Yes.
But this one, like you said, we were talking about this. This has all the ingredients, right? Intriguing plot, the actors. You got Christoph Waltz, who I said was literally on a roll after this. Like, he already had those successes. And then it fell flat. Like it did not resonate with me at all. And for being it was sniffing 2.5 hours. It felt rushed, especially towards the end. The beginning was okay. And then you were kind of intrigued with this mysterious Spectre. And they could just see his shadow and everything. And then after that, he was like a throwaway. He was like a throwaway villain. Like no character development to speak of. He barely had any lines. And he was supposed to be this big bad of the whole franchise who was the puppeteer for all these other bad guys. And
He felt very much like in Skyfall, the bad guy. I forget his name, Silva, right? He felt very much like him. Same thing, trying to use technology to control everybody and this and that. And then in very similar fashion, he gets kind of turns into the monster and gets his face all scarred up and shows back up in again. That's what I meant. It just felt kind of like they're just, I don't know. It felt a little, just the story itself felt safe. They were following the same pattern. Like, okay, this works, so we're gonna do this. And
it was almost lazy, if I want to say, because they were in this like the middle of the desert in his like secret compound, and then okay, a watch is gonna take the whole thing out. All right. Literally. And then literally a watch took the whole damn thing out. And then he survived. Okay. And then he made this intricate, we're gonna make the whole old MI6 headquarters a bomb. Okay. Bond escapes with a magic like boat from whatever. And then
it's the classic thing. It's like the bad guy has the good guy, can kill him, but says, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. See what you can do.
And then
like, all right.
And then literally he gets away in a helicopter. James Bond whips out a big gun, couldn't take it out, whips out a smaller gun, and then takes it out.
Yep. Speaking of guns, actually, I want to know, and we kind of passed, we didn't talk about it, but Bautista's character, Mr. Hinks, I think is his
Mr. Hinks.
He has some weird gun too. It was like
a double barrel?
Yeah, like a double barrel 1911, something kind of weirdish.
It looked cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
it looked
anybody
cool.
knows what that is, leave in the comments. Tell us what that is. But that was pretty cool looking. And I'm glad they had him in there because they needed that. They needed kind of that brute force. But in my mind, I was like, I almost wanted like a Bane-esque character that would like kind of like
Mhm.
really challenge James. And I guess he kind of does.
He
But then
did.
as soon as he actually challenges him, he ends up getting killed, and then James gets to grow. So it was like I said, there was just
Yeah.
like no tension in this
It took
movie.
two of them though. It took two of them.
I guess I
So.
did, you know. And well, I was even laughing, even to kind of backtrack a little bit. The car chase scene when
Mhm.
Bautista's character's chasing him, he's on the phone in Bluetooth having a conversation with Money Penny. Like
Yeah.
as a viewer, you're like, okay, well, obviously he's gonna get away. Like they wouldn't build.
It's James Bond.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, like we're not even gonna pretend like he's gonna get caught or something bad's gonna happen. Like it's too early in the movie, so they're gonna have like a conversation with Money Penny, and he's cracking jokes about who you with.
And then let's also mention that they in Skyfall, James was like almost washed up. He couldn't hit a target. He wasn't in the best physical health. And then in this one, he can't miss.
Can't
he was
miss,
just shooting
literally.
behind him, and he was getting every bad guy. All right?
When they're running out of that crater, and he's like just hip shooting, just taking guys out like on top of the hill. And the bad guys are falling. Yeah, I actually saw that. I noticed that too. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so it was definitely some Hollywood hijinks in there when that happened. I mean, overall score for directing, I gave it a 20.
Yeah,
It was had to be kind of tough on that one. It was just disappointing, and it looks great. Like I said, had all the ingredients, but it just didn't connect. I can't really say exactly why. I didn't read any interviews from Mendes on this one if he was distracted or had something else going on, but it was a disappointment. Now the new movie has a new director, and he doesn't seem like he's got a giant resume. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully, maybe he'll bring some new life into it and kind of switch things up a little bit. But let's wrap this one up. In terms of X Factor, what'd you end up giving it?
I gave it a 2 out of 10, man. Like I said, it was tough. Like we've been mentioning the whole episode. All the pieces were there. Intriguing plot, the great actor for being the bad guy, you know, Daniel Craig being back, and it just didn't hit. And I'm gonna place the blame on the script, on the director to make it even better. So there you go. Sorry, Sam Mendes.
Yeah, I ended up giving it a 4. It's kind of the same things. I mean, it's still a Bond movie. There's still things that I like about it. And when you're going to a Bond movie, I mean, as far as what you expect, they delivered, right? The cool cars, you know, the fancy suits, you know, the action, the chase scenes, it's all there. It just emotionally just
the Bond girls.
Yeah, the Bond girls. It just emotionally doesn't really connect like the other ones did. But if it's on, you know, say it's on TV or something like that, like I might watch a little bit of it, you know, watch like 15, 20 minutes and kind of catch one of the scenes. And you still have fun, and it's still enjoyable overall. But yeah, it's just in comparison to some of the other like movies that are out there, it was definitely disappointing. I think one thing about the Bond movies that I think it kind of helps it is you really only compare Bond movies to other Bond movies. So in comparison, the Craig movies are always going to be better than kind of the older ones, unless you really
absolutely
have a fetish for the older versions. But, you know, in comparison, yeah, it's still good. Right now, in terms of when this franchise ends, you know, with this next one, where will it be? I have a feeling, you know, this might be in the middle of the pack or towards the bottom. With, you know, Casino Royale and Skyfall being up there, and then hopefully No Time to Die up in that top 3 too. So we'll see.
Because it almost like Casino Royale, great. Quantum Solace, Skyfall, then this one, and then hopefully No Time to Die is back up the roller coaster, guys.
Overall score, I gave it a 67. What'd you end up giving it?
I gave it a 68.
Okay, so we're really close on this one. What did you guys think at home? Did you guys see this movie? What did you guys think? What would you guys give this movie in terms of score? And where would you rank it in the total like franchise? You know, which one was your favorite installment of this? And what do you guys are looking forward to in No Time to Die? I'm kind of going to this one really with kind of no expectations, other than just I'm hoping that it will just end on a good note for Daniel Craig's character.
Right.
Who knows who's going to replace him next? I don't know. I'm not even going to try to predict.
Who knows, man? There's been so many people like linked to it that you don't know who's going to come out on top.
They're going to have big shoes to fill on this one.
Oh, absolutely. Like this. When was Casino Royale? 2005, 2006. So
I think so. Yeah.
So Daniel Craig is like sniffing almost 2 decades of being Bond. So it's the big shoes, big suit to fill, being the next James Bond.
A very fitted suit that you have to fit perfectly.
So he has to be jacked. Like he was like Daniel Craig was the first like really built like James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we'll see. There's some interesting names out there. I have a feeling we're going to be surprised. I have a feeling.
I think so
too.
too.
It's not going to be someone we're expecting. So we'll see, and hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, that's about it. Looking forward to No Time to Die. I'll be not first in line, but I will be seeing it opening night, and hopefully we'll pump out a review for that one as well.
All right, man. Sounds good. All right, to everybody watching, thanks for sticking with us. Don't forget to leave a comment below, whether you liked it, you hated it. Let us know what you guys think. And obviously, we're going to be doing our Fright Cap coming up too. If you have any recommendations or anything you want to see us do, let us know as well. But be looking forward to that as well as we are. So until next time, take it easy out there. Cheers to everybody.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, stay hydrated and get those gains.